King Harris really showed up at 50 Cent's mansion, and what went down next was captured on security cameras. Tensions were already high between the Harris family and 50 Cent, and this unexpected visit only made things more explosive. In this video, we're breaking down every moment from the confrontation and revealing the shocking footage that has the internet buzzing. To understand how we got here, how King Harris ended up in a full-blown war with one of the most notorious trolls in hip-hop history, we need to go back to where this started. And it started, of all places, on a podcast. During a podcast appearance, T.I. accused 50 Cent of backing out of a versus battle that they'd both agreed to. He claimed that as a result, he'd lost all respect for the G-Unit boss. The platform was $1 million worth of game, and T.I. laid out the situation in detail. According to T.I., this was not some spontaneous call-out. He said it was about celebrating each other's catalog, that they had talked about it, that he didn't just call 50 out of the blue, and that they were moving around in Los Angeles, selling some shows together. T.I. explained the agreement. He said they both agreed to the matchup, and that T.I. was supposed to be the one to announce it publicly. T.I. was supposed to mention it publicly, but when he did, he alleges 50 acted confused. That is what set T.I. off. He told the podcast that it was a matter of character at that point. T.I. said it was like, forget all of it, and that he now questioned 50's character, saying just say you don't want to do it. Now, 50 Cent and T.I. have history that goes back years. The beef first began way back in 2006, when both rappers were at their peak. While it never fully kicked off, there were signs of them not liking each other. 50 was the star of G-Unit, and T.I. was the self-proclaimed king of the South, and the tension began to appear in a competitive way with sneak disses. So this versus situation was not some brand new conflict. It was the latest chapter in a rivalry that had been simmering for close to 2 decades. But the versus accusation gave it new fuel, and 50 Cent, being 50 Cent, did not respond with words of reconciliation. 50 Cent responded the way he typically does, through social media mockery and trolling rather than music. His posts escalated the tension steadily throughout the month, keeping the beef alive in headlines and feeds. Now here's where things got personal. The back and forth remained largely between the two artists. However, that changed when 50 made the decision to bring Tiny Harris into the conversation. On February 22nd, 50 Cent posted an unflattering photo of Tiny on Instagram, with a pointed caption directed at T.I. That post changed the nature of the beef entirely, shifting it from a rap rivalry into a family matter. 50 escalated on February 22nd by posting the photo of Tiny with the caption, "I keep saying keep my name out your mouth, okay?" T.I. did not stay quiet. T.I. jumped into 50's comment section with a response, and King also chimed in under the post, simply writing, "Where your mama?" That comment, "Where your mama?" might have seemed like a small thing at the time, but it was the first sign of what was about to happen, because King Harris was about to take this entire situation into his own hands. The dispute escalated when 50 Cent posted video of T.I. testifying in connection with the death of a friend and labeled the Atlanta rapper King Rat, and later shared images targeting T.I.'s wife, Tiny Harris. So now you have 50 Cent calling T.I. a rat, posting his wife online, and making it clear he had no plans to stop. And into that situation walked a 21-year-old who was not about to let anyone talk about his mother. That 21-year-old is King Harris. And what he did next is what everyone has been talking about. King Harris decided he had seen enough. King Harris filmed himself in a direct-to-camera selfie video, speaking with visible intensity and raw emotion throughout, staring into the lens with wide eyes and an unwavering delivery. And his message was direct. On Sunday, February 22, the rising rapper took to his Instagram stories, with an explicit expletive-laced rant after the 50-year-old mogul shared an unflattering photo of Tiny amid his escalating online feud with T.I. King made his message to 50 Cent as clear as possible. Leave his mother out of it or face the consequences of having his own family brought into the conversation. King referenced 50 Cent's mother, Sabrina Jackson. King repeatedly invoked 50 Cent's mother, Sabrina Jackson, who passed away in 1983 when 50 Cent was just 8 years old. He then urged the Candy Shop rapper to post a photo of his late mother, before doubling down that he should leave Tiny out of the back and forth. King questioned how 50 and other trolls were raised, before again telling him to dig up his mother and pay his respects. But King did not stop at the video. Separately from the video, King Harris posted still images to his Instagram stories that included a photograph of a headstone bearing the Jackson family name, captioned with a direct taunt aimed at 50 Cent. Ahead of unleashing a series of Instagram stories directed at 50 Cent, he'd share an Instagram post that begins with a photo of 50's late mother, Sabrina Jackson, and the beef, with a tombstone engraved with Jackson's name and lifespan. Now this was something people had not seen before in a hip-hop beef. Not like this. The combination of the rant and the grave images made the moment one of the most discussed that week. Many noted the rarity of a deceased parent's gravesite being referenced so directly and publicly. The internet split. Reactions to King Harris's video split sharply the moment it hit timelines. A significant portion of viewers defended King Harris without hesitation, arguing that 50 Cent opened the door by posting Tiny, and that a man defends his mother by any means necessary. Critics pushed back just as hard, with many arguing that invoking and visually referencing a deceased parent's gravesite crosses a line that cannot be justified regardless of what 50 posted. Several commenters noted that targeting 50 Cent specifically, a man who lost his mother at 8 years old and has spoken openly about that trauma, was a particularly volatile choice. But in terms of engagement, the memes and jokes ended up dominating. The most liked replies had nothing to do with the debate. Appearance-based jokes and memes dominated the highest engagement in the thread. One comment drew nearly 10,000 likes and others not far behind. And what was T.I. doing during all of this? T.I. took a notably different approach. The rapper posted a video of a calm family dinner, appearing entirely unbothered by the escalating chaos playing out on social media around him. Whether that was a deliberate statement or simply T.I. choosing to let his son handle his own business, the contrast between father and son's responses was not lost on observers. But T.I. was not completely silent. In a separate Instagram Stories post shared shortly after 50's jab at Tiny, T.I. appeared to offer his son support, writing, "You gon' win, BC, you a good man, a good dad, and a good person." So T.I. was publicly backing his son. King Harris was going at 50 Cent with no filter, and the internet was waiting to see what 50 Cent would do next. And 50 Cent did respond. But it was not what King might have expected. 50 Cent and T.I. are currently going after one another on social media, and their feud doesn't show any signs of slowing down. In fact, 50 took to Instagram to take several more shots at the trap pioneer and his loved ones. He did so while promoting the 2026 Broadway revival of August Wilson's Joe Turner's Come and Gone, which he executive produced. Opening night April 25th, he captioned the post. "No rappers, no bad BBLs, no little fucked up albino kids, just sold out Broadway." So 50 did not call King Harris by name, but the references were impossible to miss. King's post arrived shortly after 50 Cent threw jabs at both him and his mother, Tiny Harris, on Instagram. He seemingly accused Tiny of having a bad BBL and referred to King as a little fucked up albino kid. That phrase, that direct shot at King's appearance, did not go unanswered. 50 also responded to King's video with visuals of his own. 50 responded with a graphic made by a YouTuber featuring photos of King and his mother. With the caption, "God don't like ugly," King was quick to respond, sharing a photo of 50 in court. With the caption, "All you do is apply pressure to females. Bring that smoke to the chimney." 50 Cent has gone to trial in 2013 for domestic abuse. And then came the diss track. On February 24th, King released a song titled Made Man, addressing remarks he says were aimed at his mother. King took various shots at 50 in the new song Made Man. He called out the mogul for dissing his mother, making it clear that he's unwilling to tolerate any disrespect. Meanwhile, T.I. was handling his own part of the beef through music. T.I. has also entered the fray with his own recordings. In recent days, he released 2 tracks, War and Right One, that take aim at 50 Cent. On February 25th and 26th, T.I. dropped 2 more tracks, Lessons and What Bully, claiming he wasn't expecting 50 to respond with a track, as the New Yorker continued to respond with memes online. But King Harris was not done with just music. He went further. King Harris is not holding back amid his feud with 50 Cent, even digging up documents dating back to 2009. He took to Instagram to share what looks like an official FBI report dating back to 2009. The document outlines how 50 Cent allegedly placed an anonymous tip about Lowell Lodi Mac Fletcher's murder investigation. Allegedly, he told officials that he was in fear for his safety and that James Jimmy Henchman Rosemond had ordered Lodi Mac's murder. Jimmy Henchman is currently serving a life sentence for this, in addition to other charges. The documents, dated October 12, 2009, include what appears to be an FBI interview report in which agents say Jackson confirmed he placed an anonymous tip to investigators about Fletcher's homicide. The report says Jackson told agents he feared for his life and implicated James Jimmy Henchman Rosemond. King's caption was pointed. He wrote that this was the answer to anyone who had ever called his father a rat. King wrote in his caption, "I got 21 questions but just answered this one." So who was Lodi Mac, y'all know? Whoever he was. After he died, that's when Freaky Cent started to fear for his life. And, well, it's up there. Is this who called my pops a rat with no black and white? Well, here's yours, sir. Representatives for 50 Cent did not immediately respond to a request for comment. The FBI and federal prosecutors declined to comment on the authenticity of the documents posted on social media. Now, the idea of King Harris pulling up on 50 Cent was becoming more than a social media exchange. He was pulling out receipts. He was pulling out records. He was making music. And he was making it clear this was not over. And then there was the matter of 50 Cent's son. King Harris kept going. Over the weekend, King Harris, the son of T.I. and Tamika Tiny Harris, directed a series of pointed posts at the G-Unit founder on Instagram. In one, he shared a photo of 50 Cent seated with his younger son and wrote, "You think you raising a man having him sit in your lap as a teenager? That's a hoe, sir," adding, "This not AI." The post was accompanied by 50 Cent's early single Wanksta. In an IG Stories update, King went deeper by tagging 50 Cent and criticizing him for being, in his words, the same attention whore he was when he first became a star. King also shared images that had been circulating for years. The 21-year-old has been trolling the mogul on social media in recent days and isn't holding back in the slightest. Recently, he even took to Instagram to share some old photos of 50 Cent holding various adult toys at France's Skyrock radio station. While promoting the track on Instagram, Harris was seen wearing a t-shirt bearing what's believed to be an image of 50 Cent's late mother. Rick Ross, who's made his own thoughts on the G-Unit founder public over the years, was quick to hop in the comments of Harris's post. Rick Ross is showing support for King Harris amid his and T.I.'s feud with 50 Cent, so now Rick Ross was involved too. This beef was spreading, and then came a move from 50 Cent that caught people off guard. 50 Cent has deleted every Instagram post related to his recent online feud with T.I., signaling what appears to be a pause in the public back and forth. The move comes after days of exchanges involving T.I. and his son King Harris, who both responded to 50's earlier comments. Despite 50 Cent clearing his page, King Harris continued addressing the situation. Since then, every post tied to the feud, including the image of 50, has quietly vanished from Instagram. But T.I. was not going to let that go unnoticed. T.I. made it clear erasing receipts won't end the static, writing, "Id gaff what you erase. You keep posting. It's problems." 50 Cent, though almost certainly joking, is telling fans he's looking ahead to a slow news day amid his continued back and forth with T.I. and King Harris. Earlier on Wednesday, T.I. continued his 50-focused campaign by again sharing new music in the run-up to his Kill the King album. Now, while all of this was happening, the diss tracks, the deleted posts, the leaked documents, the adult toy photos, the memes, something else was happening too. There was a question forming in people's minds. How far was King Harris actually willing to take this? Was this all online, or was there more to it? The title of this video promises you that King Harris pulled up on 50 Cent's mansion, and that something happened on a security camera. And here is where we need to look at what actually went down. Throughout this entire beef, from the Versus fallout, to the tiny photo, to the video rant, to the diss track, to the leaked FBI paperwork, to the photos, to the deleted posts, the confrontation between King Harris and 50 Cent has been entirely digital. It has played out on Instagram, it has played out on social media stories. It has played out in music, but the idea that King Harris physically showed up at 50 Cent's property and that footage exists from a security camera, that requires some examination. What we can confirm is that King Harris continues to be a thorn in 50 Cent's side. Since hopping in the beef that involves his dad, T.I., he's come to his pop's defense with his own diss track, and supposedly an authentic piece of paperwork that paints 50 as a snitch. But those are just a few things Harris has done since entering the feud earlier this week. What we can also confirm is that King Harris has pushed this beef into territory that is difficult to walk back from. 50 Cent has not responded publicly to King's video. However, the internet is watching closely, and the consensus across social media is that a response is coming. 50 Cent has one of the sharpest and most relentless social media presences, and being directly challenged by T.I.'s son is not something he has historically let slide. There is no verified confirmed footage from any security camera at 50 Cent's property showing King Harris. There is no report from any media outlet or news source confirming that King Harris physically went to 50 Cent's mansion. What there is, and what has dominated the internet for the past week, is a social media war that has been more personal, more intense, and more layered than anyone expected when T.I. first brought up the Versus on a podcast. The pulling up that King Harris has done is metaphorical. He pulled up on 50 Cent's social media. He pulled up on 50 Cent's reputation. He pulled up on 50 Cent's history. And the security camera footage that people have been sharing, that is the screenshots, the screen recordings, and the archived posts that the internet has preserved even after 50 Cent deleted everything from his page. So the mansion visit is not what happened, but what did happen is in some ways more significant because it shows a 21-year-old going toe-to-toe with a man who has spent 2 decades being known as one of the greatest trolls in hip-hop. And the fact that King Harris forced 50 Cent to delete his posts, that is something. After days of going at 50 Cent with everything from grave photos to FBI documents, to diss tracks to memes, King Harris did something that nobody expected. He apologized, not to 50 Cent, but to 50 Cent's son. T.I.'s son and rapper King Harris took a moment in his ongoing feud with mogul 50 Cent to speak to 50's oldest son, Marquise Jackson, offering a chance to talk. On Thursday, February 26, King posted on Instagram stories a direct message to Marquise, who also has long-standing issues with 50 Cent after days of escalating tension between their camps. King wrote, "Suck Marquis, what I said was out of emotion. It ain't have to be said, you got none to do with it." He followed with, "As a man, I was wrong. Let's chop it up," adding a crown emoji to signal respect. "As a man, I was wrong" stands out in a culture where pride often fuels prolonged beef. Now, this is significant because it shows that King Harris recognized that he had gone too far in at least one aspect of the beef. Not the part where he defended his mother, not the part where he released a diss track, not the part where he leaked the FBI documents, but the part where he brought up 50 Cent's deceased mother, and by extension, brought grief to people who had nothing to do with the conflict. He admitted that what he said was out of emotion, and that it did not have to be said, and that Marquise had nothing to do with it. Marquise Jackson, for context, is one of 50 Cent's 2 sons, including Marquise and Saya, and the relationship between 50 Cent and Marquise has been publicly strained for years. So King reaching out to Marquise was a move that had layers to it. It was both an apology and a potential alliance. It was both accountability and strategy. King's original diss asked 50 to explicitly exhume his late mother's grave. That was the line that many people said King crossed. And by reaching out to Marquise and acknowledging he was wrong, King showed that he was at least aware of where that line was, even if it took a few days. Meanwhile, the beef between T.I. and 50 Cent continues. The disagreement between the two rappers began with a dispute over a proposed versus battle. Since then, it has unfolded through interviews, diss tracks, and social media posts. King's involvement has added a generational dimension to the conflict. It has shifted from a rivalry between 2 established artists to a broader public argument that now includes their children. The involvement of King Harris has added a generational dimension to the beef that neither T.I. nor 50 Cent fully controls. King is 21 years old, raised in the spotlight, and clearly willing to go places publicly that his father has not. Whether T.I. reins him in or lets him ride remains one of the more interesting subplots as the situation continues to develop. From there, things unraveled fast. Diss records were released, shots were fired on social media, past feuds resurfaced, and the back and forth moved beyond music, pulling in family members and personal history along the way. What could have remained light speculation has now grown into one of the first real rap beefs of the year, and it's clearly no longer just entertainment. As of now, 50 Cent has not issued a new public statement. He deleted his posts. He joked about having his feelings hurt, and he has continued to promote his Broadway show and his other business ventures, as if nothing happened. But the internet remembers. The screenshots exist, the diss tracks exist, the FBI documents exist, the apology to Marquise exists, and the question that remains is, what happens next? Because if the last week has shown us anything, it is that this beef is no longer just about 50 Cent and T.I. It is about fathers and sons. It is about lines that get crossed in public. It is about what happens when a generation that grew up on social media enters a conflict that their parents started. King Harris did not physically pull up on 50 Cent's mansion, but he pulled up on everything else. He challenged 50 Cent's reputation. He challenged his street credibility. He challenged his character. And the fact that 50 Cent, a man who has been in public feuds with Ja Rule, Rick Ross, Floyd Mayweather, and countless others, deleted his posts after this exchange with a 21-year-old, that tells you something about where this beef stands right now. Hip-hop beefs have escalated in ugly directions before, and commenters across platforms have noted that this one has moved past the point where either side can easily de-escalate without losing face. The versus battle that started this conversation feels like a distant memory at this point. Whether King Harris and 50 Cent eventually meet face-to-face, whether 50 responds with music or more trolling, and whether T.I.'s ongoing diss track campaign leads to something bigger, all of that remains to be seen. What we know right now is this: a 21-year-old walked into his father's beef and held his own against one of the most powerful figures in hip-hop. He went too far in some places. He acknowledged that, and the internet watched every second of it, not on a security camera, but on Instagram, on Twitter, on YouTube, and on every screen that was paying attention. That is the story, and it is not over.